On this FA Youth Cup night at St George's Park, it's Wolves versus Norwich. Next.
Did you want me? No. Who said excuse me, fella? I was trying to... Oh, right.
Testing 1 2 1 2.
You told me to take it off. Yeah, I know, it's alright.
Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2. Goal! Goal! Brilliant finish! Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2. Have you got audio for me okay?
Yanni, are you watching at the moment? Can you hear Mikey testing?
Testing 1 2 1 2. Goal!
Yes, please, mate. While I'm on... Oh, are you watching it on your phone?
Brilliant finish!
No, that's only on the mobile.
Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2. Wolves against Norwich, Wolves TV, live from St George's Park. This is what it's all about. Friday night under the lights with sideways rain, wind swirling, difficult conditions for commentators, for cameramen and for players too. Substitutes just making their way out. Teams will be coming out very shortly. Here we go. We are just waiting for the two teams to come out here at St George's Park on the Sir Bobby Charlton pitch, the main pitch where England usually train when they are here for the international breaks. It's got a little bit of a stand behind us. Of course, no regular supporters allowed in, but there have been some other members of Wolves staff who've made the relatively short journey up to Burton to be able to see this one. A few scouts in attendance as well, looking for the next big thing. We appreciate your company with us here on this miserable night in Burton. At least we have a little bit of cover as the Norwich team come out. Spare a thought for our Wolves analysis team on the far side, who are getting absolutely drenched. So here's the visitors, Norwich City, mid-table in under-18s Premier League South. It's split into North and South at under-18s level. By all accounts, pretty hopeful of this group of players that they have, but they haven't quite turned that into performances and results so far this season. They have Sam Blair in goal, Eddie Jackson, Lewis Shipley, Bradley Hills and Sean Stewart are back four, Nelson Combaining, Harry Brook, Tony Springett and Thomas Dixon-Peters at midfield. Abu Kamara and Jonathan Rowe will be there too up top. Mark Pearson is our referee, striding out to the middle. And all we need now is the home team. Wolves under-23s have played a couple of games here at St George's Park last season. And weather meant that we weren't able to play at the New Bucks Head in Telford. Kidderminster Harriers Agborough is the new home ground of the under-23s. Under-23s actually take on Norwich on Monday afternoon down at the Norwich training ground. A long old trip that you'll be able to see on Wolves TV. My cameraman is laughing at me because I'm not making that long old trip. I'll be at Burnley, bringing you Matchday Live Extra 45 minutes before kick-off for the first team. Make sure you are with us for that. Chris Owellamo and Michael Kiley will be our at-home pundits, alongside myself, Mikey Burrows and Andy Thompson. We'll also be joined by Wolves under-18s coach Steve Davis, who, despite being a lifelong Wolves fan, played for Burnley in the Sherpa Van final. There might be a bit of banter between him and Tomo pre-kick-off. Here come Wolves. Pretty strong lineup selected for this game. As long as you were born on or after the 1st of September 2002, then you are eligible to play in this year's FA Youth Cup, which means that the likes of Christian Marquez, Nigel Lundvik, Luke Matheson and Hugo Bueno all drop down from the under-23s to bolster an under-18 side that have been pretty successful so far this campaign, flying high towards the top of Premier League North. Only Man United, Liverpool and Man City are above them in the table. 7 wins from their 10 matches so far. They were beaten by Man United last time out, but before that they'd put a run together of 5 straight victories, including a late home win over Liverpool, thanks to the returning Eric Bagarin, who is amongst the substitutes for this evening. Wolves with Joe Young in goal, Nigel Lundvik, Christian Marquez and Justin Hubner are the back three. Luke Matheson and Hugo Bueno, the wing-backs. Midfield of Jack Hodnett and Dylan Cicluna, with Owen Hesketh and Lee Harkin supporting Tyler Roberts up top. On the Wolves bench tonight, Cam Candola, Palmy, Aaron Bjornsson, Temple Ojanaka, Jack Scott, Harry Birtwistle, Eric Bagarin and Ethan McLeod. So the FA Youth Cup journey begins in earnest on a wet and windy night at St George's Park. Wolves have only won the competition once in our proud history, way back in 1958. 4 times runners-up, the last time in 1976. Maybe this year will be the year. As we get underway, Wolves playing with the wind in the first half. You might be able to see the flags fluttering in the breeze on the far side. Strong breeze behind Wolves as they play towards the end, where there is a gym behind the goal. The hotel where the England players stay is a little bit further behind. And here's Cicluna. Matheson made his name, of course, in the senior FA Cup. A couple of games for Rochdale in the League Cup as well. Hodnett switching the play. Matheson. Not a bad delivery. Chased all the way by Bueno. Support from Hodnett. Lovely left foot, decent ball in as well, and it was Harkin who was arriving. Jackson losing his footing. Hodnett again. Not a bad delivery again. Oh, and it just was too high for Luke Matheson. Arriving in at the far post, committed himself. Good early start this for Wolves in the first 90 seconds or so. Trying to perhaps set a marker for how they want the game to go. This is Sean Stewart trying to get Dixon Peters in behind. Foul in the end by Abu Kamara on Nigel Lonvite. Wolves last season made it through to the 5th round of the competition, where they were beaten heavily by Chelsea. Another difficult night weather-wise. Theo Corbeanu missed a penalty at 0-0. Made his name in the competition last year with a couple of goals in both the 3rd and the 4th round. Got a couple of goals for the under-23s on Monday afternoon, as they came from behind to beat West Brom 4-2 in the derby. Matheson. Harkin ahead of him. This is Lee Harkin, a Northern Irishman. Cicluna. Spring it forwards. Kamara up against Marquez. Did well just to hold him up and support a ride from Nigel Lonvite. Stewart's delivery. Marquez's touch. Involvement for Owen Hesketh. He was a second half sub for the under-23s on Monday. One of 5 in this starting lineup who've got on the field at the Birmingham County FA ground on Monday for the under-23s. One of which was Matheson, who finds Harkin. He's managed to dig out the cross, but couldn't quite whip it enough. At this stage last season, it was a 3-0 win over Nottingham Forest. Theo Corbeanu and 2 from Chem Campbell that night. Chem Campbell currently injured at the minute, though he is still eligible to play. If Wolves were to get through and he gets fit, we'll add another option to the attacking ranks. Goalkeeper is Blair. To Shipley. Trying to get Dixon Peters away. Kamara taking a tumble in the penalty area. Referee Mark Pearson not interested in Marquez with a very good clearance to Harkin. And a set Hesketh away. Roberts arriving in the penalty area. Hesketh. He had a go. I think it was more of a shot than a cross. Quite finding his direction just yet. Bradley Hills. The ball up to Rowe. Hodnett drawing the foul. Hubner to Hodnett. To Christian Marquez. Hubner. Young Dutch defender. Sold that pass short back to Marquez. And it's pounced on early by Kamara. He's got support arriving as well. Oh, it's in! Thomas Dixon-Peters with the early strike for Norwich. Wolves punished for giving the ball away on the halfway line. Norwich on the counter-attack made them pay. It was Hubner's error.
Scored the first goal for Norwich City, number 11, Tony Spring.
Tony Spring credited with the goal. Change numbers. Here they come threatening again. Norwich have numbers to the right-hand side. Marquez needing to do the defending. Wolves just being pegged back a little bit here. Now stand firm. Everybody back to defend. Not a bad delivery. Was doing just enough. Building again. Stewart. And support. Matheson will have to chase. Stewart has found some room. Getting support. Matheson sticking to his task. Bailey. Hanging delivery, Bueno was strong enough with the header. Here's Hodnett. Marquez to find Matheson. Harkin ahead of him. This is Cicluna. Jack Hodnett. Draw the free kick. It's not a bad ball to pick out Matheson. On here for Roberts. Took the deflection. It's Wolves' turn with a set-piece opportunity. Hodnett taking it short. It's not a bad delivery in there, it's a powerful header. It was a big opportunity too for Justin Hubner, who climbed highest. And he'll be very frustrated that he wasn't able to get Wolves back on level terms there. It's all about the response now. Wolves build their way back into the game. Joe Young. Flick on by Bueno. It's not going to give this up. And he was right not to. He's been allowed to continue on his charge here. Oh, and it wasn't a bad effort, and it took a deflection too. Excellent work by Owen Hesketh. Could have easily just allowed it to go out of play. Refused to give in. Straight delivery this time. Goalkeeper helped it on its way. Norwich have brought pretty much everybody back for this. Wolves haven't committed too many men in there, but those they have are right in amongst it inside that 6-yard box. Very congested. In-swinging delivery could cause problems again. And it does. Difficult to deal with. Away by Stewart. Wants to get it back in there. Hodnett's delivery was hanging. Lundvik was arriving. Sliding into the hoardings for his troubles. Here come Norwich again. Dixon Peters. More big block challenge from Tyler Roberts. There is going to be a card coming. It was a committed challenge. Tyler Roberts was never going to give it up. Clattered into Lewis Shipley. An early card for the Wolves front man. Company wide. Hesketh challenging with Jackson. High ball up, Lundvik challenging with Dixon Peters. Company. Stewart from Rowe. It's not a bad delivery in. Hubner had to stoop down to head it clear. Hodnett forwards. Hesketh Was looking for a run from Tyler Roberts that wasn't quite there. And here they come again, Springett chasing forwards. Bueno. Lonvik. This is Matheson. Harkin making the run for him. Matheson chasing up on the underlap here. Luke Matheson's delivery. Kambani with the clearance. Hodnett will be the man to take the corner. Whip to delivery again. Oh, and it flashes all the way through. Big opportunity. Somehow scrambled clear. And all of a sudden, big counter-attack on. Options either side. Rowe for Dixon Peters. And Rowe took a tumble off the ball. And they asked the question, Norwich. Mark Pearson answered it with a resounding no. Just a collision as the players were running in towards the Wolves' goal. Lonvik's ball. Roberts was chasing. Won by Shipley. Harkin making a nuisance of himself. Roberts winning the free kick. Hodnett and Hesketh, the two stood over the ball. Hodnett's delivery. Comfortably away by Dixon Peters. Bueno. You get the better of Brook. He's done well to hang on to it for the time being and he'll settle for the throw. Springett's goal is the difference. Hubner. Marquez. Lonvik. This is Cicluna. Couldn't find Hesketh with the pass. Rowe. Support from Stewart. Jackson. Strong enough challenge by Hubner this time, forcing Norwich back. St Peters trying to capitalise on another little bit of a mistake. And Norwich have numbers forwards, and it's 2. Kamara arriving, and Wolves punished again. 2 errors have really cost them here. Absolutely laid on a plate in the end.
Second goal for Norwich, number 9, Abu Kamara.
And Kamara simply could not miss. It was a gift. Just been a little bit shell-shocked maybe. Had some decent opportunities. For the large part, they've had a fair grip of the game. 2 errors have been costly. Marquez for Hubner. Switch the play towards Harkin. Matheson was forwards. Back in position ahead of Rowe, but Stewart has gone chasing past him. Just maybe needs someone in the Wolves team just to get to grips with this, get it by the scruff of the neck. Take control, it's just been a little bit too easy for Norwich at times. Hubner. It's a good ball, just skimmed away off the surface before Tyler Roberts could get on the end of it. It'll be difficult to play those kind of straight passes, especially with the wind behind them, as Wolves are playing with in the first half. Hubner with a foot in. Described as being highly competitive, Justin Hubner. Ultra competitive. That's the quote from a source within the group. Now then, Harkin. Just couldn't quite get to grips with that slightly misplaced pass. Campaigning for Rowe. Again, he's got Stewart in support. Secluna was tracking him. He and Matheson trying to get a block on it. In the end, they did enough. They need a little bit of inspiration, the under-18s. Try and turn this around. Marquez. Lonvik. Secluna. Hodnet trying to switch the play, but too straight that pass. It's difficult with the left foot to be able to open his body out enough to get it wide for Hugo Bueno. Shipley for Stewart, Matheson closing in. Harkin was challenging on Stewart. Rowe taking over. There for Combani. Brooks ball. Trying to get Springett away. Just ran out of room. Here they come again, Norwich, sensing a third maybe. They needed a block by Lonvite. Stewart. Combani. Balls towards Rowe, holding off Matheson. Stewart's delivery was inviting. It's not cleared away just yet, and it will be a Norwich corner. Everybody back defending here for Wolves. Hodnett is the man closing down the short option. Will get whipped in dangerously again. Ricocheting around. Hodnett's chase. Looked for a moment like that ball was going out, but Norwich didn't give it up. Can they make of this opportunity? Hodnett going to collect the ball. Thankfully the rain has just eased off a touch, but the wind is still pretty strong. Try and use a bit of that wind to whip this ball back in maybe. Hodnett's delivery, hanging one. Roberts was trying to get close to it. Hesketh giving chase. Bueno nearly lost out. Set piece delivery has been pretty decent so far tonight. Do get the feeling that if Wolves are to get a route back into this game, may well be from the impressive left foot of Jack Hodnett. Strikes a decent free kick as well. Free kick going against Wolves this time. Jack Hodnett, fairly local, he's from Telford. He's been at the club for a decade. Quite a few relatively local boys in and around the group now. As well as some of those that are brought in by Christian Marquez. Was the man doing the defending there. Justin Hubner stood over the ball here. Hubner arriving from Den Bosch in the Netherlands. This is Tyler Roberts. Bueno. Plenty of options in the penalty area for Hugo Bueno. It was towards Matheson. Harkin. Nice turn by Hodnett. Lee Harkin, what can he make from here? Managed to dig out across, but a little bit too close to Sam Blair. Now then, Cicluna. Combani sliding in, and that's going to give Wolves a free kick. In a very dangerous position, he committed himself there, Combani. Sliding through, Harkin. Maybe the conditions played their part a touch there. But you can see the figure of number 10, Jack Hodnett, immediately involved. Christian Marquez as well fancies a free kick, you know. Takes a decent penalty too, Christian Marquez. And he may well fancy this. Pretty central. Hodnett pacing it out almost like a rugby union kicker. Hesketh moving away. Marquez or Hodnett? Marquez the right foot, Hodnett the left. It's Christian Marquez. Oh, what a brilliant goal! That is special from Christian Marquez. The defender stepping forwards, taking the responsibility and producing a stunning goal. Game on at St George's Park. Wolves are back in it in the FA Youth Cup third round.
Scoring goal for Wolverhampton, number 4, Christian Marquez.
Talked about needing somebody to step up and produce something. Christian Marquez has done just that, and it's given his team confidence again. Hesketh for Matheson. Hodnett. It's a nice little reverse ball. Hesketh couldn't get away from his man, and Hodnett couldn't close it down, and suddenly Norwich have 5 pouring forwards in the counter-attack. Harry Brook was the man carrying it forwards. This is Springett. And having a go. He had the numbers back in front of Joe Young to get the block. Cicluna with a nice touch to intercept. Matheson. What a talent Christian Marquez is. Tyler Roberts chasing forwards, putting pressure on Bradley Hills. Christian Marquez at 17, trains with the first team. Captains the under-23s. And a step back down for the FA Youth Cup and produced a moment of magic. Hesketh. Support from Hodnett. Oh, that's loose from Hodnett. Not what they needed. St Peter's trying to release Rowe, and Lonvike made sure that was his. He was caught late as well there. There's a battler, Nigel Lonvike. Hasn't quite filled out yet. Still growing and developing. He's only 18 in October. The end of October as well. Another who joined the club in January, this time from PSV. He's become a regular in the under-23s. Hills to Shipley. Hubner reading the danger. Company tidying things up for Norwich. Brooks allowed to get back to his feet after the initial slip. Harry Brook. A bit scrappy, but Wolves coming away with it. Here's Roberts. Oh, and Roberts crudely taken out. Bradley Hills will find his way into the referee's notebook. Matheson. Harkin. Matheson again. Not the benefit of a double ricochet. Wolves have been decent at set pieces so far tonight. Jack Hotnid's delivery from this right hand side with that left foot has caused Norwich some issues. Stewart got a sore one. Marquez, Lonvite, Hubner, all forwards from the back. Again, the hanging delivery. It was a Wolves head and it needed to be hooked away by Abu Kamara. Hodnett on his right foot this time. Another good ball in. Teed up for the strike from Hesketh. Just needed a touch more composure. It was set up nicely for him. Hubner, Marquez, Lonvike. Harkin giving chase. Momentum feels like it is with Wolves at the minute. Just under 7 minutes to try and find an equaliser before the break. Lonvike looking for Matheson, too much on it. A decent response from having gone 2-0 down, and arguably not played too badly in the process of it. There's 2 errors gave Norwich their goals. So Cluna for Harkin, on for Tyler Roberts, using his pace. Support for Matheson. Harkin is offside. Maybe he just needed a first-time delivery there from Luke Matheson. Had a chance to wrap his foot round it. There were players in the penalty area. It's a chance for him to slide in. He's found Harkin this time. On for Roberts again. Hesketh the only man in the box at the minute. Cluna. Hodnett. Hodnett's having a go. And he saw the opportunity. You can't criticise him too much for having a dip from distance with the wind behind him. Oh, loose pass. Here's Hesketh. Owen Hesketh with an opportunity. To Harkin. Cluna. Hodnett was trying to work it wide, and Wolves did have the numbers forwards. Again, you wonder whether Hesketh could have just pulled the trigger. He's had a couple of efforts cutting in from that left-hand side. Hubner with a foot in. Brooks ball wide. Another dangerous ball through. Oh, big save. On somehow he's managed to scramble it away for a second time. Massive credit to Joe Young. It looked for all the world as if Norwich were going to get a third. Kept out the first effort and was up quickly to put the pressure on. And he's done a sterling job for his team there, the Wolves keeper. Again, Norwich's good work coming down their right-hand side. That's where the second goal came from. And they nearly found a third. Here's Marquez. to stay switched on. Hesketh for Roberts. Owen Hesketh. Lonvite back to Hesketh. From a Man City man, finding Harkin. He's rather ran into a few bodies. Will settle for the throw. Matheson's throw. A clever one to spot Hodnett in space. Hubner for Bueno. Hodnett again. Hanging it towards Matheson. Couldn't quite wrap his foot round it enough to keep it in the danger zone. Again, an example of the left foot of Jack Hodnett. Tenacious player. Last couple of minutes of the half. It's been an entertaining one so far. Oh, now then, Harkin was closing in. Hurried up Lewis Shipley. Norwich prepared to take risks at the back. Hubner intercepting. Bueno losing out. Dixon Peters. Numbers in the penalty area. Kamara. Oh, it's clever. It's a clever finish for his second of the game. And restoring Norwich's 2-goal lead. Frustrating time to concede for Wolves.
Scored the third goal for Norwich, number 9, Abu Kamara.
Done so much to get back into the game. And the task gets that bit tougher again. Credit for the finish. Knew there were bodies around him, knew Joe Young was closing in. Calmly helped it round the corner. Cicluna for Matheson. Harkin. Space opened up for him for a moment. Hodnett. Harkin again. Allowed to face up. He tried to pick out Bueno. Away by Jackson. Lonvike. Lonvike going in too strongly for the referee's liking. Challenged by Hubner. Hesketh getting the throw. Running for Hubner. Back to Joe Young. Lonvike looking for the run of Matheson. It's a good ball. Oh, Matheson just couldn't quite reach it. Gave it everything he had. Conditions just beat him there. A little bit of wind behind it. Very slick, greasy surface as well. We'll hope for maybe a bit more fortune playing into the wind second half. As the first half ends with Wolves under 18s, 3 goals to 1 down. They were 2-0 down fairly early on. A couple of errors leading to those Norwich goals. Christian Marquez stepped forwards though, and the captain hit a quite sublime free kick to give his team a bit of a lifeline. And they pressed. They tried to craft some decent opportunities, but Norwich always dangerous on the counter. So it was. Abu Kamara got his second of the game a couple of minutes before half-time. Steve Davis has plenty of work to do in that dressing room at the break if Wolves under 18s are going to continue their FA Youth Cup adventure this season. Half-time, Wolves 1, Norwich 3. We'll be back very soon.
grow. You know that you're looking out for me. You know I'm trying to retreat before the sun goes down, before the morning glows. Feels like I'm coming home, the feeling comes on slow. Still loving all you get to me, and the silence of the sympathy. But when the water falls, instead of more there is no. I'm letting you go. You cover what you fall. I said you'll be for sure. You said to me you love my baby, easy go. Before the sun goes by. When the wind blows high, but the rain stays low, and we're losing time. Before you know, you start to feel alive. Although your body's cold, and I felt you go. You cover what you fall. I said you'll be for sure. You said to me you love my baby, easy go. Before the sun goes by. Until the feeling gets inside me and I'm feeling low. I've got you by my side, we'll watch the morning sun. We tread the water, taking slowly down the waterfall. You see the seagulls swim, or I can take it all. You cover waterfall.
Oh, 100.
I said you'll be for sure.
You what?
You said to me you love my baby, easy go. Before the sun goes by.
That one.
Cover waterfall.
So your audio
I said you'll be for sure. You said to me you love my baby, easy go. Before the sun goes by. Before the sun goes by.
Just waiting for the two teams to come back out for the second half here at St George's Park. The Sir Bobby Charlton pitch, the main pitch here at St George's. Getting an absolute drenching from a downpour that's been going on for a good couple of hours here. Many of those involved tonight for the Wolves under-18s will have a day or two of recovery. They may well be involved for the under-23s on Monday, again against Norwich, this time down at the Norwich training ground. You'll be able to watch that game live on Wolves TV. That's while you're at work, and then get off early. Christmas week begins with the first team's trip to Burnley. 5:30 kick-off, Matchday Live Extra on the air 45 minutes before. I'll have a feast of festive football for you thanks to Wolves TV. It's not in action on Boxing Day, remember. 27th is the visit of Spurs to Molineux. 7:15 kick-off. And it's trip to Man United 2 days later, 8 PM kick-off from Old Trafford. Stay live extra on the air from 7:15. Former Wolves captain Sam Ricketts will be part of our team for that one. And then kicking off 2021 with the long trip down to Brighton for a 5:30 kick-off on Saturday the 2nd. Under-23s take a bit of a break after Monday. Under-18s do as well. Under-23s return with a trip to Burnley, made at the Leyland County Ground on Monday the 18th of January. The Under-18s are not scheduled to be in action until the 23rd of January. Be playing a little bit earlier if they can turn this round in the second half and get themselves through to the 4th round. Otherwise the next outing will be against Burnley on the 23rd of January. So it's been a good start to the campaign, almost as happened last year with under-23s may well go out on loan in January, and more under-18s players will be needed to make the step up. Last season, of course, got cut short. Football was brought to a halt. They only actually finished the last year's edition of the FA Youth Cup a couple of weeks ago here on this pitch. Man City beat Chelsea, who were the team who knocked Wolves out in the 5th round. City winning it 3-2. Looks like a change from Wolves at the break. Harry Birtwistle. He's stripped and ready to come on. Looks like Dylan Cicluna is the man who's gone off.
Substitution for Wolves, leaving the field number 8, Dylan Cicluna, and replaced by number 16, Harry Birtwistle.
So back underway for the second half. Wolves needing to produce something special to turn things around and get themselves back into this FA Youth Cup tie. Londvik's ball forwards. Owen Hesketh is dropping back to play in midfield. Harkin's come to the left. This is Harkin intercepting and trying to use his pace to get Wolves moving forwards down the left-hand side. Still going, Harkin. Wrapped his foot round it, but not quite enough to keep it in. The Wolves with Joe Young in goal. The back three of Lonvijk, Marquez and Hubner. Matheson and Bueno are the wing-backs. Hodnett and Hesketh now the two in midfield. With Birtwistle, Roberts and Harkin, the front three. Birtwistle is an interesting introduction. Only 17. He only turned 17 on the 1st of this month as well. Born in Singapore. Preston at Wolves International Training Camp back in 2013. And here he is. And immediately into the action. Roberts got something on it. Not enough to turn it goalwards. Thing to watch out for with Harry Birtwistle is that supposedly he is quicker than Adama Traore. Matheson was caught there. Rowe not quite quick enough with his challenge. Birtwistle is more regularly a wing back, playing more as a winger here. So the talk about Harry Birtwistle is that he could well have been a sprinter if he didn't want to play football. He's thought to be that quick. First opportunity on Wolves TV. Let's see if that's true. Matheson continuing to get some treatment. Looks like he'll be okay. Wolves with numbers in the penalty area. Hesketh to try and pick somebody out. Bueno all the way back to Young. Made a wonderful double save in that first half, Joe Young. Hodnett for Harkin. Just about kept it in. Hodnett challenging with Kambani. Tyler Roberts showed great strength though. Matheson was calling for it. He's just managed to stay onside. Here's Hesketh. Well, they telegraphed the pass for Hodnett. Bueno intercepting. Hesketh with a foot in. And the driving run. Now Matheson. Back to Owen Hesketh. Hodnett closing in. Battling hard with Thomas Dixon-Peters. Free kick going Norwich's way. This is Sam Blair, the Norwich goalkeeper. Matheson let it go. Wolves playing into the wind second half, and it is a very strong wind. There are 5 flags. The flagpoles above the 2 subs benches on that far side. They've not been able to stop fluttering in the breeze all evening. Abu Kamara, Lonvijk with the interception. This is Rowe. Jonathan Rowe allowed to keep going. Dixon Peters ball in, away by Marquez. Brook. Flag stayed down for Springer. Just about managed to keep it in under pressure from Bueno. Harry Brook. Springer. No, Bueno getting back. Supported by Hodnett and Harkin with the clearance, and Tyler Roberts will battle. He did well to get a foot to that while he was on the floor. Hesketh had his shirt pulled back there. He's continuing on. Harkin needs a bit of support to arrive. Gets it from Hodnett. Showed excellent spatial awareness to help that round to Matheson. And Matheson on the charge. Didn't quite beat the first man. And Norwich again looking to hit on the counter-attack at speed through Rowe. It was a sign of the pace of Birtwistle, who got back there. Brook. Shipley. Looking for Dixon Peters. Plenty here to watch this. And the Wolves contingent in the stand behind us. Scott Sellers is here. James Collins, his assistant Sean Parrish from the under-23s. Watching a number of players who've regularly featured for them. Turn out for the under-18s. Shayla Finiana is here as well, who's in charge of all the lone players. Hodnett for Roberts. Harkin had a go, Roberts nearly closed in. Matheson trying to arrive as well. Just couldn't quite make the sweet connection that he wanted to there, Luke Matheson. It's a sign of Wolves' willingness to commit players forwards. Got to try something to find a route back into the game. Christian Marquez's free kick in the first half that reduced the deficit to 2-1 at the time, and Wolves were very much in the ascendancy for a good 10 minutes afterwards. Third goal for Norwich towards the end of the half. Restored their cushion. Threatening another, but Joe Young equal to it this time. Quickly out to Hodnett. Hodnett. Bueno. Harkin to chase. Lonvike in. Kumbaini. For the first time, Nigel Lonvike. Afraid to get stuck in. May well have come off worse for wear here, though. So regular watchers of the under-23s will know quite a few of these players. There are a couple who are relatively fresh to Wolves TV viewers. Talked about Harry Birtwistle. Justin Hubner will be a name many might have heard but might not have seen play. 17-year-old Dutchman right from Den Bosch in January. Jack Hodnett, youngster from Telford, been around for a decade or so. Aaron Hesketh, 18 years of age, came in from Man City, had a tough time with injuries last season. They almost needed to give him 6 months out just to try and get him right. He's very much a talent. He tried to model his game on Paul Scholes, was his hero. Tyler Roberts is only 16. He's been at the club since he was 9 years old. Lee Harkin, 17. Another big chance and a big goal that could well see Wolves heading out of the FA Youth Cup. The opportunities have kept on coming for Norwich. And for all Wolves could play in this game, they haven't been able to stem the tide.
The fourth goal for Norwich City, number 9, Abu Kamara.
Abu Kamara's hat-trick could well be the killer blow. Three close-range finishes for him. And it's turned into a tough learning experience, this. And we may well learn a fair amount about these players now and how they respond to this adversity. Came into the game with high expectations. They haven't been borne out. Marquez holding off Kamara. Marquez for Harkin. Hodnett finding him. Roberts trying to get away. Bueno in behind. Support from Harkin. Hesketh. Ball was meant for Birtwistle. The change coming. Nigel Lundwijk's evening is over. Cam Candola will come on. Another 16-year-old. 17 in January. First year scholar, born in Wolverhampton. Been with the club since under-9s level. Pretty much a regular for the under-18s normally. With Lundwijk and Marquez dropping back down from the 23s, unfortunate to find himself on the substitutes bench. Hodnett. Bueno. No room to try and break through. And Norwich again threatening on the counter, and Bueno had to stop it in its tracks. Still half an hour to play. Wolves need 3 goals to send this tie to extra time. Dixon Peters giving chase, Joe Young claiming. Start with one and build their way back. Hodnett for Bueno. Harkin will keep this in. Still on the charge here, Lee Harkin. And it's going to be a goal kick. Charging forwards, just never really looked up. Didn't have too many numbers to try and aim for if he had it done. Kamara. Kambani. Candola gets it back from Young. Towards Birtwistle. Hubner was looking for Harkin. Away by Jackson. Marquez stepping in. Hodnett early looking for Birtwistle. Chance to use that speed. Tried something clever to try and pick out Tyler Roberts. Hesketh penalised. Hodnett maybe overplaying it. Dixon Peters taking the ball away from him and threatening maybe another, and it needed a big save and it might need a follow-up. Marquez with the touch. Candola trying to close in. Dixon Peters has gone down and they will stop the play for the head injury. We got a feel for Joe Young. He made a wonderful double save in the first half, and most efforts he's been equal to, but he couldn't really do anything about the 4 times he's been beaten tonight. That's the life of a goalkeeper. Hasn't really put a foot wrong. Candola forwards. Whistle on looking for Roberts. Had a grip of the shirt. This is Eddie Jackson. Looking towards Kamara, foot in by Marquez. Hodnett for Hesketh. Trying to get Harkin away, just a little bit too much on the pass maybe. Harkin not quite expecting it to come towards him so soon. Just maybe an example of where it hasn't quite gone their way this evening. Referee Mark Pearson insisting that Norwich go back far enough. Bruno challenging with Rowe. Marquez and Candola being turned. Dixon Peters heading on. Kamara knew he was going to be offside. Hubner up early. Harkin again involved. Offside flag up against the Northern Irishman this time. Came to the club's attention. Scoring a goal against Man United from his former team, Derry. He has actually represented the Republic of Ireland at under 16 level. Had trials at both Man United and at Celtic. Marquez bravely in. Candola finding Hesketh. Away from the challenge of Kambani. Plenty of men ahead of Owen Hesketh. one of which here is Matheson. He put a decent ball in. There were three arriving towards it. Nobody had quite gambled to get across to the near post. Candola's interception. Hesketh. Couldn't pick out Bueno this time. Hodnett's gone down. Stayed down. Dixon Peters switches the play. Wolves a little bit stretched here. And again the numbers are in there. And it needed Hubner to spot the danger. Hodnett is still down inside the Norwich half, and eventually the ball is put out of play. He went down and stayed down. David McRae is the under-18s physio. Alan Sweeney, the team doctor. Steve Davis and Darren Ryan, the coaches. And they have an opportunity to have a word with one or two players on the far side. Just over 20 minutes to produce something special, to get themselves back into the game. Hodnett doesn't look comfortable. Almost temporarily down to 10. He's having a little jog down in front of us to see whether he's going to be okay to continue. As Candola will give the ball back. Message has been given to make the change. The Jack Hodnett's evening will come to a premature conclusion. Candola losing his footing. Norwich getting on with things. Going to make their man advantage count at the minute. Rowe. Spring it. Looking threatening. There was a deflection on that. Joe Young did well again. Hubner. Hesketh. That's for Candola. Cameron Candola. Matheson. On the charge again, Luke Matheson. Challenge was fair. Example of Birtwhistle's speed, but the officials didn't like the way he got it back in front.
Substitution for
Ethan McLeod is on.
Number 10, Jack Hodnett, replaced by number 18, Ethan McLeod.
Ethan McLeod is a schoolboy. One of the under-16s. He's a big boy. He'll hope to have a bit of an impact. He's only 15 years of age. Oh, Hubner. Another crunching tackle. Bainey. So back from Rowe. Jackson. Going away from Harkin. Closed down by Bueno. Lifted in by Hills. Again, Young was out to it. Hubner looking early for Roberts. Heavy touch by Dixon Peters. Hesketh went sliding in. Bueno needed to make sure that was his. Rowe. Dixon Peters. Support from Brook. Company. Stewart for Springett. Hubner first to it. That'll be a Wolves ball. And Springett, who got the scoring started.
Substitution for Norwich leading the field, number 11, Tom Springett, replaced by number 12, Oscar Thorne.
Oscar Thorne into the action. And here they come charging forwards again, Norwich. Threatening another. That's going to be a Wolves free kick. Marquez did enough. Now Harkin at the other end. Crunching challenge. Bueno. Roberts. Big deflection on it. Keeper giving chase, and he'll win the race to keep the ball in. Rowe with time and space to turn. Support coming from Jackson. Bueno's foot in this time. Jackson's throw. Dixon Peters. Linesman lost his flag for a moment. Jackson, Rowe, heavy challenge by Hesketh. Maybe a little bit of frustration in that challenge from Owen Hesketh. Tyler Roberts has stayed forward this time. options for Norwich to try and pick out. Company strike. In trouble, Joe Young. And another change coming.
Substitution for Norwich City, leaving the field, number 9, Abu Kamara.
Abu Kamara going off.
Replaced by number 17, Alex Matos.
Alex Matos is the man who has come on. And here they come threatening again. It's Rowe. Walls with enough numbers back this time. Hesketh. The Candola. Balls to Matheson. Hesketh with an early one. Hesketh's ball forwards. Will go comfortably through. It's a pretty lonely existence for Owen Hesketh in midfield right now. Playing effectively 5-1-4 as they try and gamble, roll the dice for the final 12 minutes. Hubner will keep leading to opportunities for Norwich. It's not about goal difference, it's about the FA Youth Cup getting through to the next round. Came off Rowe. Bueno for Hesketh. Harkin showed too much of that to Brooke. Matos. Hubner in. The second time in a couple of minutes, and we'll end up with his name in the referee's notebook. Mentioned earlier, he was described as being ultra competitive, Justin Hubner. By all accounts, the first time he went up to train with the first team, gave Pedro Neto a kick. Doesn't matter what level it is. More than willing to stick a boot in. Rowe. Dixon Peters. Marquez battled enough with him. Hesketh trying to set Harkin away, just too straight that pass. And here come Norwich once more. Still going, looking for a fifth. I'm going to get it from there. It's the final 10 minutes of what's been horrendous conditions for all those involved tonight to try to get to grips with. Made it ever more important to take chances when they came along, and that's what Norwich have done. Roberts Finding Matheson. It's going to come through to Harkin. Took it too close to the byline. And it's not been for a lack of willing, that's for sure. May not always have had the quality needed this evening. And they've tried to play. McLeod for Hesketh. At the very least, heads haven't dropped and they've kept going. And here's Ethan McLeod. The 15-year-old's having a go. Roberts has just got to be careful here. He's on a yellow card. He was on a yellow very early on in the game. Norwich didn't like the way he closed in on Sam Blair. Just maybe a bit of a ticking off and a warning. A long goal telling off. Rowe on the run into Bueno. Hubner showing good footwork to open his body out and find Harkin. Bueno forwards. He's managed to dig it out to Ethan McLeod. Hesketh. He meant that to go for goal. Just swerved away more than he intended. Jonathan Rowe being replaced.
Number 7, Jonathan Rowe, replaced by number 14, Joseph Duffy.
Joseph Duffy, here's the new man on. Brooke opening out on his left foot, straight down the throat of Joe Young. A good early throw, an excellent early throw. Ethan McLeod. The 15-year-olds managed to win the corner at the very least. Wolves getting on with things. They've got another corner. Let's get just caught by Alex Matos. Can they pick someone out? Give themselves a glimmer of hope. Nearly came to Candola. Bruno doing enough. And the pressure from Matos. Hills across to Shipley. Stewart. Balls to Thorne. He's got the better of Candola. And bearing down into the penalty area. And a big opportunity, and Hubner was the man who got his foot in there. Who read the danger. prevented Norwich adding a fifth. Ball again to Stewart. Hesketh flying in. Hesketh will find his way into the referee's notebook. He's had a couple of challenges. There was one down on the near side a couple of minutes ago. Showed his frustration. So just over 3 minutes to play. Maybe a little bit added on. I'm sure most involved will be keen to get indoors into the warm and the dry. Looking like that long wait for a long FA Youth Cup run will go on. And Bainey's delivery. Marquez's header, and he won the free kick. It was Marquez's free kick in the first half that gave Wolves a bit of hope, reduced the deficit down to 2-1 at the time. Another 2 goals from Abu Kamara either side of half-time. Gave Norwich the control numerically. It's maybe not always having control on the field. Wolves will feel like that 4-1 scoreline was maybe a touch harsh on the balance of play. And they gifted Norwich some goals in the first half. They've been well and truly punished whenever Norwich have got into the Wolves penalty area. They've looked a threat. It's all about learning at this level. They are far from the finished product. Bueno get the throw. So many of these players will go back to the under-23s. Wolves amongst the youngest under-23 squads in Premier League 2. Dixon Peters making a tumble on the edge of the area. For the others, there might be some who may well be looking towards potential loan moves in January to experience a bit of first-team football. Luke Matheson, of course, has had a taste of that with Rochdale. It's a very competitive position at right wing back with Oscar Burt playing for the under-23s too. Joe Young, who's had a decent night despite conceding 4, will hope to prevent from conceding 5, and helped by Dixon Peters cutting it way over the crossbar. For the likes of Christian Marquez, it'll be back to first team training. Three minutes is what's going to be added on.
The official has indicated there will be a minimum of 3 minutes added time at the end of the second half. 3 minutes.
Tyler Roberts battling to the last. They'll pull it back for the free kick despite the fact Birtwistle was about to set off. Hubner, Marquez, Candola all pushing forwards. Hesketh's delivery. Candola took a tumble, I think. Marquez was in there too. Here's Ethan McLeod. Harkin. Oh, clever flick. Oh, what a good goal. Super finish. It may only be scant consolation for Justin Hubner. But it's a little bit of a flourish to a hard-working Wolves performance that may well end in defeat. But two impressive goals from two of their defenders. And if this is the first time you've seen Justin Hubner, you won't forget that one in a hurry. McLeod for Bueno. Harkin. Third here, good sent with a cat amongst the pigeons. Hesketh for Matheson. Ball's get a corner. 50 seconds of the 3 minutes still to play. Plus probably a little bit of time added on. Needs to be now if they're going to set up the grandstand finish. Hesketh. Still going. Birtwistle. For Matheson. Harry Birtwistle. Oh, couldn't get there. Neither could Cam Candola. Bueno trying to switch the play. Hubner's foot in. Here's Ethan McLeod. On for Tyler Roberts. An opportunity for another. Couldn't take it. And the final kick of the game. Wolves FA Youth Cup comes to an end at the third round stage. Beaten by 4 goals to 2. It's been a miserable, wet and windy night at St George's Park. And a hat-trick from Abu Kamara has done it for Steve Davis's side. Christian Marquez with an excellent free kick in the first half, and Justin Hubner with quite a sublime flick right at the end. Wolves scoring 2 good goals, but it wasn't enough. They will learn the lessons and look to progress as they head back to Premier League North, where they sit 4th in the table, having won 7 of their opening 10 games. Many of these players head back to the under-23s as they try and push on in Premier League 2, Division 2. Thank you very much for your company this evening. Don't forget, the under-23s are in action Monday afternoon away at Norwich. You can watch that absolutely free on Wolves TV, and then join us for the first team away at Burnley in the final game before Christmas. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you soon.